All right. The gate tonight was 8.1 million. Attendance was 14,697. Fight of the night, McGregor Diaz. Performance of the night, Diaz and Tate. So congratulations. This thing right now it's breaking every record we've ever had. Pretty much biggest fight ever. Who's got the first question? Nate is will be here, and Connor should be here any minute.
Question for Misha. Congratulations, Misha.
Thank you.
Can you put into words what this means to you after what you've been through over the last couple of years, and especially after last summer when you had that great disappointment, and now to come back and win? How this feels for you?
I said that it felt like it was meant to be, and it does. Turns out I like gold. So I'm just excited to be here, man. And, right off the bat, I just want to say thank you to Holly for stepping up when she could have waited. Like, in my mind, that woman is still a champion, will always be, have a ton of my respect. And if I ever get the honor to step in there with her again, I would love to, so.
Maybe in your second title fight with Ronda, your emotions were difficult, and you seemed like you were able to control it tonight. You're going right down to the very edge of the fight, and I don't know if you were behind, but you were behind at that point. You had to make something happen. There's about 2 minutes to go in the fight. How were you able to remain calm and kind of keep in the moment, because you really pushed it right up to the last minute?
Yeah, my cornermen are always honest with me, and I appreciate that. They never lie to me. They went in there and said, she won. She looks like she's won 3 of the 4 rounds, so I haven't been able to see it yet, but I take their advice strongly. And Brian came in there and basically told me, you've got to go guns blazing. He said, you risk it to get the biscuit, essentially. So I knew that if I had to risk getting knocked out at that point, that's what was going to happen. But either way, I was anticipating on that fight getting finished in the 5th round. So.
Can you talk a little bit about, just for a layperson who's never had to do this, when Holly throws you over, how you hold on to that choke, and sort of like when you sort of felt her start moving, do you kind of cinch it a little bit more, knowing that?
Well, it was under the chin before she threw it over, but I just knew that I had to hang on, and I expect that people are going to try to get out of it with everything that they have, and I wouldn't expect anything less from Holly. She's man. She's tough as nails. Like, she really pulled the most out of me. Like, she made me a better fighter tonight, and I'm always thankful for that. So, she was giving everything she had to get out of that, and I just had to hang on for dear life, essentially. So I did.
Congratulations. One question for Holly. Holly, can you describe the final sequence in your mind? Sort of, did you make a mistake, or was it a good play by Misha's part?
I think that I just have to. For me, anytime in loss, I have to be honest with myself, and I feel like I knew I was ahead on the scorecards, and honestly, maybe I felt like I was getting a little too complacent there instead of being, still acting with that sense of urgency. And she got in. I should have been fighting the hands before doing that. I let her get it way too tight before I tried to just shuck her off. Just big mistake. Cost me everything tonight, but I'll be back.
And thank you. And Dana, one question for you, if I could. Obviously this scuttles your plans to a large way, having the people who lost. How do you now go ahead with UFC 200? Does Frankie Edgar get a title shot? Where do you go?
I don't know. We'll see how this thing plays out. We weren't planning 200 till tonight played out anyway. So it's not like, listen, in 16 years in this business, the one thing you don't ever do is think you know what's going to happen, because you don't. That's why I always say the odds makers in this town are nuts. They are nuts.
And lastly, George was sitting here, and it didn't seem to be a coincidence that Connor's talking about he's fighting at 170, and all of a sudden George was in the house. Was there anything to that?
Trust me, that was a coincidence. There was no plan to have. Other people were asking me tonight, was he going to call out George, or was none? That was never a plan.
Well, I guess just to build on that. Was there any discussion at all, though, George? I mean, that's always the rumor, is whether he'll come back or not. Was there any movement?
It's still a rumor. I mean, George just wanted to come to the fights tonight. Have we been talking to George? Yes, we have. But who knows? I honestly, right here, right now, don't know if George still wants to fight. I don't know.
fair enough. And of course, you don't matchmake, but with this loss with Conor, is the primary responsibility for him right now is to go back to 145 and defend that title?
I mean, I think that's what makes sense. You know what I mean? I mean, tonight was one of those nights. This was a fight. This is what this thing was built to be. This is what it was, you know, everything that we talked about, and it lived up to everything that it was supposed to be. You know, it was awesome. I mean, that fight was, I was saying to these guys earlier, so many celebrities tonight were interacting. When you deal with people who've seen it all, done it all, been everywhere, the big sporting events and everything, and everybody's standing around going, holy shit, what just happened? That's fun. You know what I mean? Tonight was a great night. The co-main and main event were amazing.
If I could for Misha, please. Talk about your mentality. You talked about the 5th round, but I want to know the 3rd and the 4th round. I mean, things were so close. You almost finished it early on. It slips out of your hand, and then she's picking up rounds. Your offense is kind of slowing down a little bit. In your head, did you ever feel like this is slipping away from you a little bit?
I mean, I had to be honest with myself at that point too, and I looked to my cornermans a lot for guidance there, because I don't know for sure, but I felt like, you know, yeah, she was getting the better of me a little bit on the feet. I feel like I've improved a lot there to even be able to hang with someone of her caliber and, you know, do what I did there. So I am happy with that, but yeah, she was definitely, I feel like, edging me out. And I thought in the 5th round, you know, I've just got to give it everything that I have. I got to gut it out, and I've got to finish this fight. So that's what I was looking to do.
And you talked about coming into this fight, how refreshing it was to not have to deal with the whole Ronda angle and all the emotion and all that. But it seems like this fight now sets up another fight with Ronda. So sure, you want to enjoy the moment, but I mean, does that feel like the right move for you in the next fight?
The right move feels like drinking a Budweiser and eating cupcakes. That's what the right move feels like. And then I will talk to my, KHI in my management team, and we will discuss what's next, and we'll talk to UFC. You know, my job as a champion is to fight the next best person, so whoever that is, I will fight him.
Thanks, Misha. And just quickly, if I could, for Corey, I think your fight tonight was one that people were debating a lot. Obviously, they started talking about the main and co-main afterwards, but people were saying, you know, how did this fight play out? How did you have this thing scored? How did your corner score it? And did you feel like the decision and the scores were just?
I mean, I could say, be honest and say I didn't think it was going to be a 30-27 at all. In the corner, Mark Henry said the first round you could have lost, second round that was yours, but third round you got to go out and seal the deal and get the split decision. When they said 30-27, I kind of got worried. I didn't know which way it would go. See, he caught my kick and took me down. And I'll be honest and say I don't think I dominated like I should have, but I definitely feel I got the win.
Question for Misha. Congratulations, of course, on the win. You know, the emotion of the moment, obviously you celebrated in that moment. I mean, can you kind of describe, you know, what it was like, you know, feeling that versus maybe your first title win and everything you've gone through to get here? Because I know it was a lot.
It's really hard to put into words, but I did tell Brian that it will be a red boxer brief night.
And a question for Holly. You know, obviously, you know, you had such a big win over Ronda and obviously everything with that. But, you know, when you have a fight like this, I mean, is it just back to the drawing board? Is it, you know, can you reflect on this? I mean, obviously you've had to deal with the defeat before in your boxing career, but I mean, how are you processing it right now? Because I know it's never easy to go through a defeat.
It isn't easy, but it's a growing experience. I mean, there's always these odds on paper, I always say, but for me, it's always 50-50 when you get in there. There's a winner and a loser, and that's all there is to it. And tonight, I do feel like I was doing enough to win the fight. She had a great second round. I felt like, I mean, I had 1, 3, and 4, and even 5 until I slipped up there. And, you know, it's a learning experience for me. I should have been fighting those hands right away. And, you know, I should have just not gotten so complacent. I just feel like I didn't have, you know, I kind of let my guard down a little too soon, and it cost me the fight.
And a question for Conor, right here, Conor. Obviously, I know it's a tough night. You know, you go in there obviously up 2 weight classes. Obviously, I know at the end of the day you did have respect for Nate Diaz. But kind of walk me through your emotions right now. I mean, obviously it was a big night for you and a big moment for the company. But what are you feeling right now?
You know, it's a bitter pill to swallow. I took a shot. I went at it. I feel I was simply inefficient with my energy. Usually, I fight a man in the division I am champion in, and they crumble under those shots. But Nate took them very well. The weight, I think, allowed him to take those shots well. So I think with a little bit of an adjustment and a recognition that the bigger man, you must be a bit more efficient with your striking. You must not put everything into the shots. But I was simply inefficient with my energy. I made some errors. Hats off to Nate. He fought very well. He stayed in there. A lot of people have crumbled under the shots, and his range was a factor. My left hand was falling short sometimes. The wheel kicks my wheel kicks weren't. I threw them and missed, and once or twice maybe hit a glove, and I think they done more to my energy than they did to his energy, and it was simply a battle of energy in there, and he got the better of that. So this is the game. We win some, we lose some. I will never shy away from a challenge. I will never shy away from defeat, or this is part of the game. So I'm happy to come out there, continue and stay in this fight. I had many chances to not do this and sit and wait, but I went in. I took the fight, and it didn't pay off. This is the fight business. It's another day. I'll come back.
And I almost hate even asking you this question, Conor, because obviously you fought at lightweight before. You were a lightweight champion before. But does this, what direction does this put you in for what's next? I mean, is it a featherweight title defense? I know it's even hard to process this on the night, but where is your mind at with that?
I don't know. I know there's a lot of people celebrating this in the featherweight division. There are many people celebrating another man's victory. It's something that I cannot understand how somebody not involved can celebrate another man's victory. At the end of the day, I am the featherweight world champion. I feel it is right to go back down and remind them of what I achieved and what I done to that division. But I am not forgetting about the 155-pound division. I am not certainly forgetting about the 170-pound division. I actually enjoyed the fact that a person could take the shots and keep coming. He kept his composure. He went into almost autopilot mode with the shots. His face was bust up, and I went into panic mode. There was just a shift of energy, and he capitalized on it. I think with a bit of adjustment and a recognition that the heavier man can take, it must take more than one, more than two, more than three to put the heavier man away. I think if I go in with that mindset at a heavier weight, I will do fine again. But I think next is probably go back down and defend my featherweight crown.
Thank you, Conor.
Holly, obviously your competitive spirit, drove this decision to fight Misha now. How do you honestly, Monday morning quarterback this situation? How do you get better, and do you want to fight Misha UFC 200?
I want to fight Misha tomorrow, she would want the same thing, She's been around the sport a long time. I'm more anxious to get in and train right now than I have been in a long time. Everybody keeps, before this fight, a lot of people, why are you taking this fight? You should wait for the rematch. What? You know what? I'm in it to fight. That's what I'm in it for. And tonight I made some mistakes. And that's all it comes down to. I need to fix those mistakes. I'm going to come back stronger. Misha capitalized. And I've said this from the beginning. She's a scrapper, She can be behind in a fight and she can still finish. And I let my guard down. And it cost me the fight. So the next thing I want to do is I want to get back in the gym and get better. This is a whole different fight I had, and I do feel like my whole MMA career has been on this kind of fast course, which I love. I want the challenge, and I wanted to take this challenge, and I want to get it back in there. I want a rematch, or whoever they'll set up a fight with. I want that. I'm here to fight.
Thank you so much. And Conor, was there anything to this fight where 170 played a huge deal? What was the biggest deal about moving up to 170 in this fight?
You know, I don't. It is what it is. He was a heavier. It was simply me fighting a heavier man, and that's it. But he could take a hell of a shot, and he's, you know, him and Nick have that kind of style. You know, they can take it and remain in there and remain in your face. In the second round, I was hitting glove. His range. He was coming close, and I was hitting glove, and that was kind of draining me. He was just simply more efficient with his energy. Stayed in my face, capitalized on it. I make no excuses. It is what it is. I came up short. I took a chance. It didn't pay off. I'll be back.
Thank you, guys.
Conor, you talked about your willingness to take risks and do things that other fighters wouldn't do, and largely I think it's because they want to avoid moments like this. You know, it's easier to play it safe. Any regrets at all that now that you've lost that maybe it would have been easier just to stay at 145?
Absolutely none. I enjoyed the whole experience. When Dos Anjos pulled and I got Nate, I was actually relishing the opportunity to step in there against Nate. I have always enjoyed Nate and Nick and their fighting approach, and even the build-up. I had a lot of fun in it, like listening to some of the things he was saying. I had fun in there, and the fight was a fun fight as well. He stayed in there. We talked. We were verbal. It was an enjoyable fight. I would have liked him to be a little bit more efficient and not give towards the end of the second. But we live and we learn.
It's been a hallmark of yours to kind of fight frequently, but now that, you know, finally the win streak has ended, is it time to take a little time off and enjoy yourself, or do you feel like you want to get back in there quickly?
You know, I haven't stopped in a long time. It seems. I mean, it's been a crazy couple of years. I've only really burst onto the scene and climbed all the way, and but I'm still really enjoying it. I'm not tired of it. Now, go back down to the featherweight division. I'd imagine will be what is next. I don't know. I still feel UFC 200 is there for me, but I'll go back and sit. I'm not cut. I'm simply heartbroken, and that's it. I'll pick myself up and we'll figure it out in the morning.
Thanks, Conor. And just quickly, if I could, for Amanda, I know you were wanting to make a statement and really earn yourself a title shot. A big win for you, but a difficult third round. So to think about maybe, you know, a 5-round fight in your near future, do you feel you did enough, or do you feel like it's going to take some time?
Yeah, I feel a little bit the third round, but I finish, you know. I finish strong, and is my next step. You have to fight for the belt, you know. I think I deserve. I think Holly have to fight Ronda Rousey, and I'm the next. I want to fight Misha, you know. I think I'm around for a long time, you know. I think now is the best time, you know. What do you think, Misha?
Yeah, I mean, I'm here as a champ. I got to fight whoever they put in there. So I didn't get to catch all of your fight, but what I saw, you looked amazing. And, you know, if that's what they deem is next, then my job is to fight.
Then we're going to wait, you know, to see. I hope Dana White give it to me this opportunity.
Thank you. And since Nate is here, if I could just do one quickly for Nate. Congratulations. Obviously a huge win for you tonight. It was a tough battle for you early on. He was having some success. You said you thought you were going to have a slow start, but was there any point at all during that stretch where you said, this is not going to be my night?
No, I felt like obviously I was going to have a slow start. I didn't have a camp, so I knew start slow, warm up, pick up as I go. And, you know, I didn't have no sparring, so I think I fucking should have dodged that punch a little better, but I had a slow start, so I knew I didn't win. It reminded me when I fought Kurt Pellegrino, my corner jumped in and they were like yelling, and I was like, hold up, I'm warmed up now. So I figured it would probably go something like that with a little less damage.
Conor, you said in an interview last year, just down here at the back, mate. You said in an interview last year that your previous defeat to this in 2010, tapping out, ate you alive. Do you think doing that again is going to similarly kind of hurt for a long, long time?
You're damn right. It's it's a tough pill to swallow, but we can either run from adversity or we can face our adversity head on and conquer it, and that's what I plan to do. It wasn't ideal. I got caught. It is what it is. I'll face it. I'll take it on the chin, and I'll carry on. I'll learn from it, and that's it.
Thanks. And just quickly to Nate. Nate, where do you go from here? What would you like to do next?
I'm at the top, so it's their call. What's next? We'll see what happens.
Thanks.
Just an update for you guys. New attendance number 14,898 is the final number. 14,898. Brett, go ahead.
Question for Nate. If I'm remembering the evening correctly, your first words after the win were basically, "I'm not surprised, mother effers." And was that kind of a message that to everyone else that maybe they doubted you a little bit in this one, that this was not surprising to you? You're not looking at it as an upset?
No, I knew I was the superior boxer, the superior martial artist, superior jiu-jitsu. Came from, like I said from the beginning, I had the best training partners in the world in every aspect, in boxing, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, and MMA. So nothing surprised me except for that I got hit at all. I think with a full camp, I would have been flawless. But it's whatever. Yeah, I'm not surprised. He got a lot of push. He's been doing great, and he's got a lot of help behind him. And yeah, I just wish I had the same push, the same help. I've been in this a long time. I've been 9 years. I was like my 25th fight here in the UFC, and I've been the last few years curious when this is gonna pay off. And I think it's time. Now it's time.
And one more question for you, Nate. You have been around the sport for a long time. You fought at 155. You fought at 170. Conor likes to talk a lot. He did at 145 about the power that he has in that left hand. What did you think about the left hand? Like you said, you didn't get a sparring camp, so you did take some left hands tonight. How would you compare it to some of the power that you faced against other guys in the event?
I sparred full camps. I did. I've been sparring with top 10 boxers for forever. Otis Griffin, Omar Henry. I did full camp with Andre Ward a couple fights back when he fought Chad Dawson. And just going in there, I've been hit with everything, the hardest stuff by 168-pound fighters. I spar with heavyweight fighters, and I've been hit with everything. So he punches hard. He's a hard-hitting little guy, but nothing I never felt before. So and I expected if I get hit by anybody, it's probably gonna be hard, But if you ain't taking me out, you're gonna get taken out straight up.
And then a question for Conor. We don't know what officially is next for you yet, but you mentioned 145. Do you feel like your hand is kind of forced that you have to go back to 145, otherwise you might have to give up the belt? Is that sort of why that has to be next, or is that something you want to do? Do you want to go back to 145?
I weighed in 168 pounds. I didn't make anything. I simply ate regularly, so it's 145 isn't. It's a cut. It's intense, but I make it, and I make it every time. So I think 145 will be next. I'll defend my my belt. I believe maybe Nate will fight Dos Anjos now. I think after I defend my belt and climb myself back up, I think I will get my shot at that lightweight belt once again. So maybe me and Nate can do it again.
And in your opinion, who should that shot at 145 go to? Is it Edgar or is it Aldo?
I'm not sure. It's hard to kind of not give Aldo another go. He's 10 years he was 10 years on the field, but again, he pulls out a lot. He doesn't show up a lot. Frankie at least gets in there and competes. So I don't know. I'll keep my ear to the ground and see who the fans want to see the most. What are the fans most interested in? Who do they want to see me defend the belt against? But then I'll sit and I'll wait patiently for the lightweight belt to be contested, and I'll make my way back up. You know, I respect Nate. He fought very well with his energy. I felt I was winning. I won round 1. I was winning round 2. I felt towards the end he caught me with some shots. He stayed in it. He was very efficient with his energy. But I feel with some adjustments, I will climb back up and make my case for that second belt once again.
And I just have one last question for Misha. You know, it was no secret how important this fight was to you. You know, not that long ago, you were talking about retirement because you weren't sure if you'd ever win a belt. Had you lost this fight, you know, you would have lost to Holly and obviously the losses to Rousey. So you had a lot on the line. I'm just wondering, when you go into a 5th round, you know you have 5 minutes to try and make something happen. Your corner tells you that you're behind on the scorecards. Does that feel like a lot of time to make something happen? Does it feel like, oh my God, I have no time left, I have 1 round? Or does it feel like 5 minutes is more than enough time for me to go in and do this?
It feels like enough time, obviously. You know, I made it happen. The thing about me is my mentality is it does not matter to me how down I get at any point in a fight. I've been literally knocked down and almost out of it, and I get back up and I win fights. So it doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down. It's how many times you get back up. And I think that's, you know, a champion does. So another thing, the Seahawks did not win a championship this year, but I'm from Washington, so I'm really happy to bring this belt back home, and maybe they'll let me raise the 12th man flag now. So you all can put that out there for me. Thank you.
Question for Holly. Holly, what was going through your mind heading into the 5th and final round? And finally, can you just describe the finish and basically deciding not to tap?
Going into the 5th round, I thought we got 1 more round. I felt good. I felt energetic. I didn't feel too tired. And I thought, let's just keep going with the game plan that's working. And sure enough, just got a little bit lazy there for a second. And I don't even, as far as tapping, I just thought, got out of it in the 2nd round, I'm going to get out of it again. Next thing you know, I didn't tap, but I guess in my mind I was just wanting to fight. I'm just going to get out of this. I'm just going to get out of this. I'm just going to get out of this. And I thought I have this fight as long as I can get out of this. And I just wanted to keep fighting through it. And there you have it. Went too far.
And a follow-up to Misha. If you had the choice, who would get the next fight against you?
Well, I don't have a choice, so it doesn't matter to me. I don't feel like that's my responsibility. That's my management's responsibility and the UFC's responsibility. My job is to show up and defend this belt, so it makes no difference to me.
We'll take 2 more, guys. Quick, Kev.
Holly, first for you, you know, you had the highest high when you beat Ronda. I mean, does this feel worse than that felt good, you know, losing a fight like this?
Beating Ronda was I had 2 fights in the UFC, and they said, next up's Ronda. And I said, great, let's do this. And I know it was across the world the biggest upset. And I know coming into this next fight, it's a whole different fight. I know everybody's expectations were high. What is Holly going to do this time? But every fight is different. And I still feel like I'm learning. And this is still the beginning for me. I haven't even been doing MMA that long, and I feel like I have a lot to still accomplish in this sport. I mean, the Ronda fight was a big high, but it also was back in November, and I had this fight tonight, which I learned from. All I can do is just straight ahead. What's next?
Thank you. Question for Connor. When you took Nate down there after you were hurt, was that you were just trying to buy time there to kind of ride out the rest of the round?
I don't know. I was slipping that jab and banging the left hand a few times. It worked for me. Even when he added the left hand behind it, I came back in and my left hand was a hook and his left hand was a straight, and I was connecting with him and his one was whizzing past the head. But in the second, I pulled and came into my left hand, and he just popped a little left straight in there. And it caught me off balance, and but I feel it was simply he was efficient with his energy and I was inefficient, and then that's it. I shot, he wrapped up the neck. I looked to pass guard, but he had that high elbow guillotine, so I was forced to roll to my back. And then similar to the Mendez one, where I rolled and came back to my knees, I just hadn't got it in me. I ended up on bottom. He passed him out really quick, really smoothly, landed some shots, got me to turn. When I turned, he flattened me pretty quick as well, and then sunk the choke. There's many lessons to be learned from the fight, but I'm happy with it. I'll learn, I'll grow, and I'll come back.
I have one more for you, and then one quick one for Nate. You referenced before, you didn't understand people celebrating another man's victory. I assume you were referencing what Jose Aldo tweeted. Did you see that? And if you did, can you comment on how you took that?
I just think he had an opportunity to show up here, and he didn't. He could be sitting there he could be sitting where Nate's sitting right now. He was the first choice. He said anytime, any place, anywhere. And then it wasn't anytime, any place, anywhere. Now another man gets a victory over me and he celebrates it. That's the sign of a loser. That's the sign of somebody, that's the sign of a runner-up, That's not the sign of a champion, so
And then Nate, Dana said before he left that it was trending to be the biggest pay-per-view, maybe bigger than UFC 100, the biggest ever. You have talked a lot about, Conor got the hype, but you also brought the crowd out. Do you feel like the fact if it does turn out to be the biggest pay-per-view ever that, you played a big role even in just a short period of promotion?
Yeah, because my fights are always pulling big numbers, They always stick me on Fox. For some reason, they were pushing me on those Fox cards. I was bringing more numbers than anybody, but nobody paid attention to that. And I got a big following between me and my brother. They come in hard, and no one ever had a bigger following than me ever, So I feel like I brought in a lot, and it made the fight a lot more entertaining, a lot more interesting than the Dos Anjos fight, because it's whatever, But and as far as energy and stuff, I felt like I was a superior boxer. I felt like I was better on the stand up, and then that's why he went for the takedown, and the weight had nothing to do with anything. I had to lose some weight. If I had a fight at 155, I feel like I could have performed better because I would have been on point. I would have had the sparring. I would have had a good weight cut like I did my last fight, and I had to come into this fight straight fat boy off the beach in Cabo. But it's all good. I felt like I won because I was a superior martial artist.
Last one, go ahead.
This question is for Holly. Holly, I know you say you want to fight tomorrow because I'm sure you feel disappointed in everything, but are you going to take this time this opportunity to take any time off, or do you want to really get back in right away?
I'll be training right away, and I'll take the fight as soon as they'll give anything to me. It's whatever opportunity they'll give me right now. We'll see where they want to go with this. I do want a rematch. Who doesn't? Anybody that's competitive. If you're at this point in a career, making this your career, it's because you have passion for it. It's because you have pride. It's because you have that want for victory, and that is what I want. The biggest thing that hurts right now is my heart, and just got to get back in and work hard. And I do want the rematch, but who's to say they'll give it to me right away? If I have to fight somebody else to get there, if I have to fight my way back, that's okay too, because I'm okay, and I know that I can put in the hard work to do it, and I'm willing to do that. I think yeah. I do have a vacation I have planned, but that's only for 5 days, I'm going to be training in the gym before I even go do that. And I'm ready to go as soon as they're ready to give me a fight.
And also, Holly, as far as the fight goes, could you go back to round 2 and tell me what was going through your mind when it looked like you were in trouble?
I felt confident in my training that I knew that I could weather the storm. In practice, I have people pushing me all the time. And I just kept thinking about some of those days that we were in round 5 and they're taking me down, I'm getting back up. They're taking me down, I'm getting back up, and I'm fighting even when it hurts. And I just thought, I've done this in practice. I can push through this. I can get through this. I didn't want her to be on top of me that long. She's obviously been very good with her top pressure. That's something we worked for. It's still learning for me. But as soon as the round was over, I thought, well, we're 1-1. This is the beginning of a 3-round fight for me. We're going to start fresh. We're going to come out. We're not going to let that defeat us mentally. Physically, I'm fine. I know I trained hard for it. I know I'm ready to do hard rounds like that. It takes a lot of energy out of you, but I felt fine. I thought, you know what, we're just going to have to keep going. That round's for her, and it's time to go out there and change the course of events here, which was fine until round 5. But it's mistakes I made in the fight.
And just one quick question for Misha. Misha, do you feel like you finally earned something as far as you waited so long to get to this point?
Yeah, and I have to give a huge thanks to my team. It has been a long road, but I've had a lot of amazing people along with me, and I feel like some of my coaches are highly underrated. I think I have some of the best coaches in the world, starting with Brian Caraway. I know a lot of people are super haters, but he's the reason why I won this fight tonight. He's been with me since the day one, my very first day of MMA training. He taught me like an armbar and a triangle the very first day. I knew nothing about mixed martial arts. So he's been by my side since I was 19 years old. And he was the head MMA coach for this fight. And everything that he said came to fruition. And my head MMA coach, Robert Follis, phenomenal coach, phenomenal mental coach. He just makes all the puzzle pieces fall into place. And last but definitely not least, my striking coach, Jimmy Gifford. Obviously, my striking's been improving a lot, to be able to even stand in there for, most of 5 rounds with Holly, I think just is a testament that, I didn't go down. I was able to hang in there. I was able to get some shots of my own in there, and I've been working very, very hard in that department, spending a lot of time with my striking coach. So just a huge thank you to my team, and it does feel good to be here. It's been a long road, and thank you all for coming on this journey with me. I'm excited, but I also feel as long as that's been going, like the hardest part is still ahead of me. I still have a lot of ground to cover.
Thank you, everyone, for an incredible week.
Yo, John Anik better get a motherfucking 209 tattoo. I'm gonna whoop his little ass.
The biggest rivalry in MMA is back on April 23rd. Here we go! As John Jones returns, dead set on reclaiming the title.
He is a monster!
From new light heavyweight champion Daniel Cormier.
Are you kidding me?
Plus, the UFC's first and only flyweight champion, Demetrius Johnson, faces undefeated Henry Cejudo. It's a championship doubleheader at the MGM Grand, April 23rd. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com.
I can kind of get inside your head.
He takes this knife.
Hide it under anyone, under the cup.
Don't stop this fight. Don't stop this fight. Nick grabs the udder and squirts it all over his face.
The head is trying to capture chickens.
He's trembling from here. I can see it.
After the first hour, I'm gonna vomit. So I think they'll just be like.
Now that I'm looking Tazen in the face, I'm sweating. 3, 2, 1.
What's your problem? Bored? Stop whining and watch a fight. Not just a fight. Pretty much every MMA fight worth watching. How? UFC Fight Pass. That's how. It's a digital streaming service with the world's largest fight library, original shows, and exclusive live events. That's thousands of fights being through your eyeballs and into your brain. Anywhere, anytime. Problem solved. UFC Fight Pass solves everything.
The UFC is back in Brisbane on March 19th. Australian knockout artist Mark Hunt battles 2-time former UFC heavyweight champion Frank Mir.
Oh, look at that! Unbelievable action!
Plus, number 8 ranked welterweight Neil Magny squares off against former Olympian Hector Lombard.
This is what UFC looks like. This is what swagger, family, power, and belief look like. Get it? So get it. Shop UFCstore.com for the all-new UFC Fight Kits by Reebok. UFCstore.com. This is what UFC looks like.